Right now on IUSTV News, tensions rising in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, how Russian President Vladimir Putin responded to recent Ukrainian military action.
Plus, a change to IU's controversial expressive activity policy, what the policy now says and why some are still pushing back.
And with Thanksgiving next week, how are local food pantries gearing up for the holiday season? We'll tell you how you can help make a difference.
And as for us here at the weather station, we're going to have some pretty average temperatures, but we've got some snow in the forecast. We'll tell you more coming up.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he is lowering the bar when it comes to using nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ashley Voss.
And I'm Oliver Carr. You're watching IUSTV News. The announcement comes after heightened tensions in the region. Fred Pleitgen has the update.
Russian state media quoting the Russian Defense Ministry now coming out with the first details of what it claims were the first strikes by the Ukrainians using American-made longer-distance weapons to strike deep into Russian territory. The Russians claim that all 5 of these missiles were shot down, however, that parts of the missiles hit a military object, as that report said. Now, so far, there's been no confirmation of any of this coming from the Ukrainians or from the American side, so right now it is only the Russians saying that. At the same time, of course, the other big breaking news story here in Russia is the fact that Vladimir Putin has now signed off on an update of Russia's military doctrine for the use of nuclear weapons. Now, all of this essentially makes it easier for Russians to conduct first use of these types of weapons. The Russians are now saying that if Russia is attacked by a non-nuclear country, like, for instance, Ukraine, using long-distance weapons like the ones that the Russians claim have now been used, and that if it is aided by a nuclear nation, like, for instance, the United States, that then that could trigger a nuclear response from the Russians. The Russian spokesman for the Kremlin has come out and said that the Russians want any sort of adversaries to understand that a response from the Russians would be coming if there would be an aggression. It's unclear whether or not this will really change the game or change things on the ground. However, right now, it seems as though the Russians are saying that if the Ukrainians fire missiles deep into Russian territory, that this could also pit the United States and NATO and Russia against one another. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Moscow.
All right, let's get a check of that weather. It has been an extremely warm fall, but Quentin, you mentioned some snow might be in the future. Quentin?
Yeah, guys, we've got some temperatures pretty great for today, with temperatures around 70 and 71 here to our south, with 78 here for us in Bloomington, and then for the most part, pretty average across the board. And then as for us here tonight, we've got temperatures at 54, and then temperatures dwindling down to about 50 degrees, around 12, and then some incoming cloud cover with some of that future snowstorm that we're going to have at the evening, or in the evening on Wednesday, and then 47 at 3 a.m. And then as for your morning walk, those clouds continue with temperatures at 45 at 6, and then at 44 degrees at 7 a.m., and then 43 at 8 a.m. Guys?
The IU Board of Trustees has approved a change to the controversial expressive activity policy.
The new policy passed in August sets guidelines for when and where students can protest, and it's got starch pushback ever since.
As a person having lawful control of this area.
Protests, speeches, and other expressive activities between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. That rule still applies, but with an exception for university-approved events.
The change comes after many raised questions about the lines of students waiting for the ESPN's College Game Day a few weeks back. IU says that doesn't break the policy and clarified the rules to match it.
The original policy was made after state police arrested dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters in April. The policy now at the center of a lawsuit from the ACLU. The Board of Trustees also signed off on increases to dorm and dining hall rates for next year. Rates will go up 2% for IU Bloomington, raising the standard room cost to around $12,500 a year. Dining rates will also increase by 2%. On-campus residence rates are going up for all IU regional campuses. IU Indy will see a 2% dorm rate increase and a 2.5% dining rate increase. IU South Bend, the rates will go up 3% and will be the first year students will be required to buy a meal plan.
IU police are investigating a string of e-scooter and e-bike thefts. They've happened at several locations across campus in the last few weeks. We're told an e-bike was taken from the Foster bike rack between November 5th and 7th. An e-scooter was stolen from the Simon Music Library on November 8th. Another was snagged between November 8th and 10th at Eigenman Hall. And an e-scooter was stolen from Franklin and Swain Halls on November 11th and 12th. Anyone with information on any of the thefts is asked to call IU Police. IU Police need your help finding a person wanted for a recent theft case. We're told the person you see on your screen allegedly took 2 laundry baskets containing over $1,800 worth of clothes. It happened at Briscoe Quad on October 30th. If you recognize this person, you're asked to call IU Police.
IU police are also investigating a reported rape at Union Street Apartments. We're told the assault happened on October 27th and was reported to police on November 11th. The suspect is known to police and the case remains open. There have been 19 reported sexual assaults on the Bloomington campus since August. We've got a list of sexual assault preventions and resources on our website, IUSTV.com.
Indiana State Police arrested 2 undocumented immigrants in southern Indiana for allegedly running a fake business scheme. Joni Zavala and his wife Maria Bonilla are charged with 8 felony charges, including racketeering, theft, and tax evasion. ISP said the investigation started in 2023. Investigators learned the pair reportedly registered license plates for other undocumented immigrants using over 24 fake companies. Thanksgiving is just a week away, but for area food pantries, that means time is quickly running out to get things ready.
As our Tegan Emerson found out, one pantry is gearing up for a busy holiday season ahead.
Canned goods piled high and ready to be served. The Bloomington Volunteer Network always has its shelves stacked, and around the holidays, it's even more urgent.
We do emergency runs for people, and they've increased quite a bit. And there's people really in a lot of need right now.
There are a number of factors being felt all across Bloomington.
I think people are getting less assistance, and the prices are increasing, and it's just really a hardship for them.
With holidays approaching and an increase in demand, people need a place to comfortably get what they need.
And so it's just a nice, just sort of a nice value add for folks who don't have family or friends to spend holidays with, to have a safe place to go that's still open.
Everyone wants to help, but it's important to be donating the items that are most useful.
Easy protein items that do not need a whole lot of extra ingredients, so that you can take 1 can, 1 box, mix it, heat it, and go. That's the easiest.
And along with food and monetary donations, time is something people can give. Community Kitchen and the Bloomington Volunteer Network are always looking for volunteers, especially during the holiday season. For IUSTV, I'm Tegan Emerson.
IU Dance Marathon had its 34th annual dance for Riley Children's Hospital. IU Dance Marathon put 4,000 students to the test for the 36-hour event held at the Tennis Center. The event was headlined with appearances by IU President Pamela Whitten and IU head football coach Kurt Signetti. Dance Marathon has raised more than $53 million for Riley's Children's Hospital since 1991.
Flu season is getting closer as we approach these winter months. The flu shots are free with insurance and offered to faculty, staff, and students enrolled at IU. The flu shots are by appointment only, and be prepared to bring a photo ID and university ID number. The Student Health Center is promoting the flu shots to keep IU healthy when people travel on breaks.
It's important to get that before you'd be traveling, being in large groups. It helps you to have antibodies to hopefully prevent you from getting the flu if you are exposed to it, or at least have some antibodies built up.
You can find a list of dates and times to get a flu shot on this story on our website, IUSTV.com. Changes are coming to the downtown area. You may have noticed plenty of construction the last few weeks. Well, one of those projects will bring back in parking to part of 6th Street. This is between Walnut and Washington Streets. The city says back-in parking is safer and becoming a nationwide trend. No parking spots will be added or taken away with this change. There's a leak on the International Space Station, and it has NASA catching their breath.
Still ahead, what the agency suspects might be behind the problem and what's being done to plug it. Plus, what's going up behind the fences near Briscoe Quad. We've got an answer for you coming up. But first,
I think it is helpful for a lot of my students who tend to be female as well to see not just a big man instructor, but a little woman like me.
Feelings about college safety isn't always the same between genders. Why a self-defense class here at IU is hoping to change that. We're back in a few. The IMU held a self-defense class this past Tuesday in the Dogwood Room. Anyone enrolled in IU could attend, but only women showed up.
our Faith Delp was there to find out why that was the case.
Nice, keep that fist tight. Yeah. 2. Excellent.
Self-defense is taught around the world in all kinds of ways. There are many classes through IU that students can take to prepare them for dangerous situations. There are also free classes through the student-led union boards like this one.
It feels like a very safe, beginner-friendly environment to learn stuff. There was nothing there that I couldn't do or was out of my physical ability, so I think that's really nice. It makes it really approachable.
Elizabeth Melms brought Nasibe Akun to teach the self-defense class on Tuesday. Melms had participated in her class last semester and decided to bring her back this semester for new students to learn. Akun has been teaching self-defense classes for a few years now, specifically Hapkido.
Finding that you can do it, especially as a woman, especially as a shorter woman, smaller woman. And I think it is helpful for a lot of my students who tend to be female as well to see not just a big man instructor, but a little woman like me.
Hapkido is a hybrid Korean martial art that with more training gets more intense.
You can practice all of these punches and dodging punches and many other things in the comfort of your own home. But there's also a mental preparation that comes with self-defense.
Being aware of your surroundings, knowing how to defend yourself, and being prepared for any situation are just a few of the mental preparations that Akun teaches.
I like that she's a younger woman. I think that makes it very personable.
Most of Akun's self-defense classes are filled with women and at times a few men.
That was our Faith Delp reporting. Akun is planning to come back to teach students throughout the Union Board in the upcoming semesters. You can find more information and classes at beinvolved.indiana.edu.
IU is also making sure students are safe in a different way. IU Police is warning drivers and pedestrians to pay extra attention in and around campus. It comes after 4 people, including 2 IU students, were hit near 17th and Eagleson. It's important to remember pedestrians only have the right of way when they are already in the intersection. But drivers also should pay extra attention near busy areas.
It's not just the pedestrians or just the drivers. It's going to take everybody on campus. So it really is a group effort, and we just want to make sure that everyone is safe all the time.
We've got the full list of driver and pedestrian safety tips on this story on IUSTV.com.
Construction has begun for a new recreational park on North Fee Lane. This new recreational park will accommodate pickleball, futsal, basketball, and there will also be an outdoor fitness center. The park's basketball court will resemble Assembly Hall with similar designs across the court. With pickleball on the rise, these outdoor courts will be the first official courts coming to campus. Indiana University Recreational Sports partner with a national fitness campaign to make this outdoor fitness center accessible to all students any time of the day.
This will be open for use from dusk to dawn. Actually, we will have lights out there. It's designed so that students can just use it whenever they feel like it.
Construction is underway, but an opening date has not yet been announced.
This past Friday, media students at Franklin Hall had the chance to learn and practice the art of networking with IU alumni in media career fields. Our Mike Badrov attended the event, getting the scoop on why the day was helpful for media students.
The networking gives students a chance to learn some tips and tricks about how to get into the workforce while also building long-lasting professional connections in the industry. The event gave students insight about the growing media world. Starting with a luncheon, students could eat, talk, and listen to professionals teach on a panel about networking and what works. Moderator for the event and career coach Lucy Rainey gave her thoughts on the event and why it matters to students.
Media Career Day is so important for our students here at the Media School because it really offers a lot of great information, perspective, and connection. You know, information on different careers, things that you might not have known about or considered. Perspective, those career experts, you know, give you really solid advice and their own perspective on what's important and how to prepare, and also networking.
For the rest of the event, students could attend panels tailored to their interests, such as the What's Next in Media and the Many Sides of Sports talks. Students who signed up for Career Day in advance had the opportunity to have one-on-one conversations with professional alumni in their fields, gaining a more personal feel to learning about their industry.
The alumni that they get to come and take a day off and participate here are really experts in their industry, and great opportunity for networking. The vibe was great, the energy was great, the turnout was great. I just can't say enough about this opportunity for students.
That was our Mike Badrov reporting at the event. The annual event will return next year with new opportunities for students.
NASA says they're worried about what it calls a potentially catastrophic air leak on the International Space Station. U.S. scientists say the ongoing leak was found in 2019 in the Russian section of the ISS. While the U.S. believes this is a dangerous situation, Moscow disagrees, saying the leak is under control and the module is safe. That's after repairs were made to reduce the amount of leakage. NASA isn't so sure and says Russia can't satisfactorily provide that it's fixed. The root cause of the leak remains unclear.
An investment firm has agreed to buy a majority stake in Jersey Mike's Subs. The $8 billion deal would give investment firm Blackstone operational control of the sandwich chain. The CEO says Blackstone's involvement will give them the resources needed to grow over the upcoming years. The deal is expected to close early next year, pending regulatory approval.
If you fly out of San Antonio International Airport, parking may look a little different. San Antonio International Airport has announced a first-of-its-kind technology that will allow travelers to have an easier parking experience. This parking method will use AI technology to make parking easier. All you have to do is create an account and register the license plates. When travelers pull up to the parking garage, the license plates will be read and they will be charged electronically after their stay. But that's not all. Anyone flying domestically on certain flights will also be able to check in luggage right in the parking lot.
Next on IUSTV News, cases of the bird flu are on the rise. Should you be worried?
Plus, it's about to get very cold over the next few days. Quentin has a check of the forecast on the other side of the break.
More than 4 dozen people in the U.S. have gotten sick with bird flu this year. And while most human cases are mild, health officials are still keeping an eye on the numbers.
In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither looks at the latest U.S. data and how you can help prevent an infection.
Sporadic cases of H5N1 spreading from animals to humans have prompted concern from U.S. health officials. The latest CDC data confirming 52 cases of bird flu in people since April.
As we think about a virus that might move from animals into humans and potentially cause the next pandemic, it certainly has everyone's guard up.
Ohio State epidemiologist Andrew Bowman says this latest strain of the virus came over to the U.S. in 2021 and has spread through wild birds in North America. So far in the U.S., those who have tested positive have had mild symptoms like eye redness or discharge and mild upper respiratory symptoms. The CDC says people who have tested positive have recovered from their illnesses after treatment with antiviral medications.
Every time we get the opportunity for the virus virus to move across species, there's the opportunity for a negative health outcome.
To reduce risk, the CDC recommends avoiding exposure to sick or dead animals, including wild birds, poultry, other domesticated birds, and unnecessary exposure to wild or domesticated animals like cows. The agency advises against drinking raw milk. They say pasteurized milk is safe to drink. Avoid exposures to things like animal waste, bedding, or other materials touched by an animal with suspected or confirmed bird flu. And for those who work with animals at risk of exposure, wear protective equipment.
At this time, I think it's heightened awareness, and there's no need to panic.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
You see them everywhere, standing desks. The market for them is expected to grow in the coming years, but a new study may make you think twice before buying your own. Researchers found that prolonged standing may not improve heart health and could even cause other problems. More than 83,000 people participated in the study. While prolonged sitting has long been associated with obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases, researchers found standing did not reduce the risk and increased a person's risk of circulatory problems. Turning to weather now, and I gotta say, I've enjoyed these past couple days of nice warm weather, but Quentin, is it coming to an end?
Well, there's going to be a chance of some snow, but to be quite honest with you, the air temperatures aren't going to be that bad. What's really going to be the factor is going to be the wind speeds. That's going to give us our chances for those really cold temperatures. As for us here tomorrow, this is when those chances for snow might come around. We're going to have our air temperatures around 50 throughout the day, not really increasing the heat that we're going to have in order for the snow to potentially stick around. As for Thursday, again, those wind chances are really going to determine whether we see that snow on Thursday. With temperatures starting at 32 the night of at 8 a.m., turning to 36 at noon, and then to 38 around 4. But then, as for the rest of the week, we had that morning rain, and then Wednesday, we'll see those cloud chances throughout the day with evening snow chances building into Thursday. Thursday is when we'll see those really heavy snow chances with anywhere from 30 to 40% chance. With it being a rain-snow mix, it's really going to be determined by the wind speeds that we see tomorrow, because that wind chill is going to be determining. As for Friday, we'll see a 20% chance of rain, but nothing major with temperatures around 43. Saturday, we see those temperatures kind of stick around. And then throughout Sunday and Monday, that sun comes back with temperatures around the mid-40s.
Well, it looks like it's cooling down, but I'm hoping that it gets warmer next week for Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. My family always prefers the cold, says it should match the season, but I disagree. Give me warm weather all day long. Quentin, thank you.
Next in sports, Coach Sig is staying in Bloomington. Details on the multi-million-dollar deal next in sports. Stay with us. The sports world at IU is bustling as men's basketball is off to a hot start, an upset by the women, and Kurt Signetti signs an 8-year contract extension. I'm Allie Holm, and let's start with Signetti. IU signed an 8-year contract extension last week, which keeps Signetti in Bloomington through the 2032 season. The deal makes him the highest paid employee to ever work at IU. Signetti will make $8 million a year and $3.5 million more than his previous deal. Sig will also get a $1 million bonus each year if he stays. He will become one of the highest paid coaches in the Big Ten and in the country. The Hoosiers are back in action this weekend at Horseshoe in Columbus. IU men's basketball continues their hot start this season, now 3-0 after their game this weekend against South Carolina. The Hoosiers were explosive and had stellar shooting, led by sophomore guard Miles Rice. He scored 23 points on 7 of 10 shooting from the field. The Hoosiers as a team shot 51% from the field and were 8 of 17 from 3. Defense was a factor with 7 steals for the Hoosiers and forcing 12 turnovers while also holding the Gamecocks to a 38% shooting. IU stays ranked number 16 in the country as they get ready to face UNC at Greensboro this Thursday. On to the women. the Hoosiers look to get back from their upset win over 24 Stanford. IU was led by stellar shooting as they shot 49% from the field and 47% from the three. They were led in scoring by the fifth-year senior guard Chloe Moore McNeil with 21 points. Their defense held Stanford to 18% beyond the arc while also grabbing 5 steals. IU women look to get back in the AP poll next week as they travel down to the Bahamas to play Colombia for the Bay Boy Moors women's battle for Atlantis. IU volleyball is trying to be back in form as they have 4 games left before the end of the season. IU traveled to Iowa City to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. They have beaten 3 sets to 1, and they struggled to stop Iowa's offense. Senior Cameron Hawthorne set the all-time IU Rally era assets record. She is also first in kills, digs, and aces. They also struggled against number 2 Nebraska, who came into this game only having 1 loss on the year. They were beaten in straight sets as they look to snap the losing streak as they head back to Bloomington to take on UCLA. And for the latest on all things IU sports, be sure to tune in each week to the Hoosier Sports Night. You can catch it Thursdays on IUSTV. That's all for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Allie, thank you.
Before we let you go, let's get one last check of that 7-day forecast.
You all got it. You asked for it. So as for, again, Wednesday, wind speeds are really going to determine whether we see that snow Wednesday night into Thursday with a 40% chance on Thursday, mostly that 40% chance being in Thursday evening. Then Friday, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of rain, again towards the evening. And then Saturday, clearer skies, but pretty much for the most part still cloudy. And then that sun starts to come back Sunday into Monday with temperatures staying around the mid-40s.
So sounds like safe enough weather for those traveling out.
Yeah, not too bad. Nothing too dramatic being in the atmosphere right now.
Gotcha.
Thank
Quentin,
God.
thank you.
Yeah,
and thank you for watching IUSTV News. For updates between newscasts, check out IUSTV.com. And we look forward to seeing you back here on Monday. Take care.